too. That's fantastic. That feels amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, my name is Jamie Gould. Unlike the other two acts, I do actually already have my PhD. I know, that's what I say to myself every day in the middle. But, there's two things which are really great about having your PhD. Okay, so, the first thing is that if you're on the phone to someone and they're being a real dickhead, and they go like, sorry, Mr. Gould, you go, actually, I think you'll find that's doctor. It's fantastic, you should all try it when you've got it. And the second thing is, it's supposed to help with your credit rating. So, on all my bank cards, it's Dr. J.A. Gould. It's fantastic. So really good. And the main confusing thing is that it's also doctor for Mr. and Mrs. So, my wife, who's in the audience as well, is also Dr. Gould. So, well done you. But her name is also begins with J. So we have all of our mail that just says Dr. J. Gould. So I have no idea who this is. Yeah. Well, actually, that's my subscription to Cosmo. Sorry. So my talk is called Self-Assembled. And so I thought that I didn't really have that much time to come up with a script or anything, so I'm kind of making this up a bit on stage. I have some ideas in my head, but hopefully it's all going to come together to make a coherent comedy act. And we'll wait and see. So I thought that perhaps I might try and warm you up a bit with a few chemistry jokes, but unfortunately most of them are gone. I know. That's the peak, guys. That's the peak. But the worst thing would be if I came up here and told loads of jokes and there would be no reaction. That's me. Good night. But no, what I thought I'd do is I'll try and teach you, teach you about what I do as a chemist. And so, like my talk, my research is all about self-assembly. And so what self-assembly is basically, we take like a whole mixture of things, and we shake it up, and we get beautiful, ordered things coming out of it. So an example of that would be if we bought, if you had all your spare Lego pieces, so you put them in a tub, and then you just shook it all up, and then you got a space rocket or a plane out of it. And that would be self-assembly. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't happen with Lego, because otherwise Lego would be really shit presents. So I love building it. Even when I see like friends of mine, their kids like building Lego, it's like, do you want a hand with that? And then, no, we're fine, thank you. But it's okay, I do it on the molecular level. So much better. So my field is based around nanomaterials. I make porous materials, so kind of like SpongeBob SquarePants kind of things. And I control how yellow and porous is he. But I also add chemical functionality to him as well, so he can be yellow, porous, and acidic. Or yellow, porous, and basic. I know, it's exciting times. But all of my chemistry is based around the nano, so everything I make is all really small. And that made a lot of sense to my wife the first time she saw me naked. It's a shame she's clapping too much now. But everything I do is all based upon crystalline matter. So that means that I can see where all of my atoms and molecules form into these beautiful structures. And to do that, we use very powerful equipment. And so we actually go and use particle accelerators, like the Large Hadron Collider, but a smaller one over here in England. And the first time I went to go use this as a PhD student, I was so excited. I told my mum, hey mum, I'm going to go use a particle accelerator this weekend. And she's like, oh, that's amazing, I'm going to tell everyone. And no one cared. But my mum did, so that's okay. And so I was really excited, and then we got there, and the accommodation is like a prison. Apart from the food is worse. And then you go into this experimental hut to do your work where all the real science is going to happen, and it's just like a prison in a concrete shell of a room with no windows for 48 hours. But, you know, the best thing for me is the science, and when we see the new structures that we've made and today, and stuff that I've tried to make in the lab for months and months or years, and then we finally see this beautiful structure, and it's all worthwhile. And I've got one of my former students here who's had an amazing structure, and I was so excited about when we first got it on there, and I saw these beautiful pictures, that the first thing I had to do was like, I need to bring this up, I need to turn this up to 11. And so therefore, Taylor Swift came on and oh yeah, I was dancing all around that hutch. Oh yeah, it was amazing. And everyone else was just like, what a fucking weirdo. Yeah, a weirdo with a great crystal structure. Yeah. But you know, I've struggled with the public perceptions of chemistry. There we go, got the word out. Got a PhD, I can say multisyllabic words. I really struggle with the public perceptions of chemistry. And when I was in my first year, I mean, we've already never, you know, Irene was telling us earlier about, so you can make meth. But when I was doing my undergraduates, before Breaking Bad and before anything else, the chemistry was before even uncool. And so, I remember Freshers Week, you know, I was drinking, you know, a lot, and it was before I could drink more than 2 pints without falling over. 3 now. And I was telling people, like, people ask you, you know, what do you do? What's your course? I go, oh, I do chemistry. They go, oh, I don't think I could do that. And I think, no, I want to say, oh, yes, it's a difficult subject, but you know, I've really got this great passion for it, and I've really wanted to do it for all this time, and I love everything about chemistry. But you think, well, that makes me sound like a bit of a pretentious twat, so I just want to say, well, you know, it's just something which I've been doing for a while now. I'm sure your course is difficult as well. But the problem is after a few beers, no one can say, yeah, chemistry's cool. But lately, I found that I've got different perceptions of chemistry now. And just last Christmas, I went home and I was actually spending time with my wife's family. And it was my wife's mother's boyfriend's son, I think. And so I told him, and he asked me, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm a chemistry lecturer. And his response was quite extraordinary. He just says, I hate chemistry. What are you supposed to do with that? It's like, yeah, no, thanks. I've only dedicated half of my life to learning this subject, and then I've got a career doing this subject, but yeah, you're right, it's shit. I've been wasting my time. Thank you. But you know, it made me think, how is that in any way socially acceptable? Would you ever say that to any other kind of profession? Would you ever say to a doctor or a paediatrician? Let's be specific here. What do you do? Oh, I work with children. I mend their broken legs and I make sure they're all feeling better. Fucking hate kids. It just wouldn't work, would it? How long? 30 seconds? Me thumbs up? Okay, alright, so, but what, that's really thrown me off now. But you know, what I hoped is that you get a good idea of what I do. You know that Taylor Swift is awesome, hence the t-shirt. And you remember, get a PhD because it makes you sound clever and, you know, snooty. Thank you everyone.